Standard 1.5. Convert an angle from degree to radians or radians to degrees. Let's start by converting from degrees to radians. So when we're converting from degrees into radians, the strategy is to multiply by pi over 180. For example, let's take 120 degrees. If we're converting it to radians, we're going to multiply it by pi over 180. Now when you multiply across, we can put this as 120 over 1. We get 120 pi over 180. And we can reduce that. We can reduce that by a common factor of 60. So if we divide the numerator by 60, we get 2. If we divide the denominator by 60, we get 3. So 2 pi over 3 is equivalent to 120 degrees. If you're having trouble with the actual simplification process for this particular fraction, feel free to use your calculator. So if you take your calculator, you can type in 120 divided by 3. I'm sorry, 120 divided by 180. And you'll get that decimal. And your calculator will convert from decimals into fractions if you press the math key and choose option 1, convert to fraction. So we get 2/3, which is essentially what we have here, but we still have that pi. So 2/3 pi or 2 pi over 3. Let's do another one. So if we're going to take, I don't know why my letters are disappearing there. Let's take 425 degrees. Again, to convert into radians, multiply by pi over 180. So times pi over 180. You can put this over 1 if you wish, and then you can start by multiplying across. So we get 425 pi over 180. Now you can think about what common factors are there between 425 and 180 to reduce, or again you can take out your calculator. 425 divided by 180. You're going to get a decimal. And then let's convert that. So hit math. Let's convert that to a fraction. So that's equivalent to 85 pi over 36. So we have 85 pi over 36. And so 425, which is more than one rotation, is equivalent to 85 pi over 36, which again is equivalent to more than one rotation. Suppose we want to convert the other way, so we're converting from radians to degrees. Let's look at an example of that. So when we're converting from radians to degrees, we want to do something very similar, but this time we're going to multiply by 180 divided by pi. Previously it was pi over 180, now it's 180 over pi. So let's take a look at an example. For example, let's take an angle measurement in radians such as 5 pi over 6. To convert into degrees, we want to multiply by 180 over pi. So times 180 over pi. You could do some cross-canceling initially if you wish. So you could say, oh, well, I can cancel this pi out. With this pi, you can cancel any common factor from the numerator and the denominator. This denominator of 6, we can divide by 6 and get 1. We can divide this numerator by 6 and get 30. And then if you multiply across, we get 5 times 30, which is 150 degrees. Now, if you're not comfortable with that arithmetic, let's take that same problem, 5 pi over 6, and multiply it by 180 over pi again. And this time, let's use our calculators. So we can multiply our numerators across. 5 times 180 we get 900. And so we have 900 pi on the top, 6 pi on the bottom. The pi's cancel out, and 900 divided by 6 should be 150 degrees. So either way you do it, 5 pi over 6 is equivalent to 150 degrees. Let's do one more example. So again, let's take an angle that's in radians. Let's take, for example, 22 pi over 9, and let's convert it to degrees. So we're going to multiply by 180 over pi. And if you wish, you could do some cross-canceling. So we know that the 9 and 180 are divisible by 9. This becomes 1. This becomes 20. The pi's cancel out. And if you multiply 22 times 20, that's 440 degrees, right? Which is more than one rotation. And that's fine. Or, again, if you're not comfortable with that arithmetic, take 22 pi over 9 times 180 over pi and multiply across with your calculator. So 22 times 180, and that numerator is 3,960 pi over 9 pi. The pi's cancel, and you can divide on your calculators 3,960 divided by 9, and you get 440 degrees. That's standard 1.5, converting angles from radians to degrees and from degrees